Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Occasionally you get a fight that kind of slips under the radar and everyone says afterwards, oh, wasn't that a brilliant fight? And I didn't see that one coming and all that. Well, I've got a feeling that on Sunday, Easter Sunday, on the Sky Sports card, on the undercard actually of the Ben Whitaker-Liam Cameron fight, scheduled for 10 rounds, by the way, apparently. Who knows? There's a fight actually for the WBC International Silver title, not the bronze one or the tin one or the paper mache one, but no. This is for the WBC International Silver super welterweight title, and it is between Lee Cutler and Sam Edgington. Now, I think this could be a right old tear-up. You watch it, probably be boring as hell now, and therefore people will say, you said it was going to be good. No, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good one. Look, if you know anything about UK boxing, you don't need me to tell you that Sam Edgington has been an incredible servant to British boxing. He's still only 31 years old. He seems to have been around for about 20 years, but no, he's got 35 wins with 20 KOs, 9 defeats now, stopped twice, no draws, and he's held the IBO version of the world title. But really, if you want real honours, I mean, I don't want to, I'm sure Sam cared about the IBO title, because if you've got it, they don't give them away, you got to earn them, haven't you? And he did, he won it. But I always think of him as being more of a very, very good European level fighter who, in fact, has won. He's won all sorts of titles. I mean, British certainly. I think he's won the Commonwealth. Has he won the European? I want to say yes, but I could be. Yeah, he's won so many titles because he's won loads of these regional titles, WBC this, and he's won this. He's won the international welterweight title before, or the silver welterweight title, or some bollocks like that. But he's definitely won the British and Commonwealth belts. But I know he's fought for the European, but I can't remember whether he's won it or not. But anyway, let me not dwell on that point if I haven't already. He's just a very exciting, really exciting fighter. And to be honest with you, you keep thinking he's going to be over the hill anytime soon. In actual fact, he seems to have this sort of endless gas tank, and he's taken a horrendous amount of punishment. But at the same time, you see him interviewed, he's fine, and no problem. I feel good. You think, oh well, yeah, but you're over the hill now, Sam. And then he comes back and scores an excellent win. And the last excellent win that he had was against the undefeated Joe Pigford, who came in with 20 wins, 19 KOs, no draws, no defeats. And talk about man versus boy. I mean, Sam just smashed him up. This was in May of 2023. Stopped him in 5 rounds. And Pigford, I don't think, has fought since. I don't remember ever seeing his name. I mean, that was his only defeat, but it was such a conclusive battering that you think, maybe it just destroyed his confidence. I don't know. I'm guessing. But, if you want to know, I mean, since then, since that fight, Sam has only fought. He fought twice, isn't he? Because he lost to Abbas Barrow that was a European title shot, yeah, super welter title shot, and he lost that on a majority decision. I did think he lost that fight. I thought Barrow won it, and I actually thought Sam might upset the apple cart there, but no, I have to say I thought Barrow, France. I think he's based in France, or he is French. I'm not sure, but he definitely did win that fight, and that was over in Telford. Sam is from West Midlands. And Barrow is a good fighter, very, very good fighter. He also lost, Sam also lost his IBO title to Dennis Hogan. That was over in Australia. That was in 2022. He had an incredible fight with Bilal Jiktu. That was one of those regional WBC belts. That was on Channel 5. That was an amazing fight. He won split decision. Frequently picks up cuts and bruises and swellings, Sam, but very rarely goes anywhere. He's beaten Carlos Molina, who had seen better days, admittedly, but he still won a 12-round decision over him. He stopped, again, a guy who was past his best, which was Ashley Theophane, stopped him in 6 rounds. He had an incredible war with Ted Cheeseman back in 2020, and he lost was that unanimous or was it majority? I know it was really, really close, and he disputed the defeat afterwards. And then if you go way, way back to his... Well, he also lost to Liam Smith as well, TKO in 5, and that was in 2019. But if you go back even further, you'll find Sam fighting at welterweight, and he stopped at Frankie Gavin in 8 rounds. He's got a win over Paulie Malignaggi as well. I think that was Malignaggi's last fight. He stopped him in 8 rounds as well. Frankie Gavin and Malignaggi were back-to-back 8-round stoppages. Bradley Skeet got the better of him. That was at welter. That was for 2 of the belts, British and Commonwealth, I think. And he's beaten other people who were undefeated, like Glenn Foote was undefeated when he fought him. Did he stop him, or was that Ian? It might have been a technical decision. And he's just a very, very exciting, come-forward, bruising sort of battle warhorse. He's just a warrior. He's just a plain old-fashioned warrior, Sam Edgington. I mean, terrific fighter, really, really terrific fighter. Even his fights with people like Dave Ryan, Sandy Ryan's brother, in case, who had a pretty decent sort of domestic level run. I think he retired with a back injury, but he was a tough guy. And Sam had a good old 10-rounder with him. He beat Shane Singleton when he was undefeated in about 20. Let's mention Glenn Foote. Yeah. Anyway, look, the point is that Sam Edgington domestically has been right around the houses and has fought at European level. I don't remember him ever winning a European belt, but I know he's fought a couple of times. Mohamed Mimouni beat him at welter, because that was considered an upset at the time. That was about 2017, 18, probably 17. And then he lost, like I said, to Baru up at super welterweight, and that was what, 6 years, roughly 6 years later. But he is a tried and tested warhorse, 31 years of age, calls himself the Savage, and Christ he is, orthodox fighter. And he's going in with a guy who has, I'd say, less than 50% of the experience that he does. And that's Lee Cutler. Now, Lee Cutler has 7 stoppage wins out of 15 wins. But he's also got a 1-round knockout defeat to Brad Ray, and that was in 2021. And that was when Brad Ray was undefeated, and that springs out at you. Because, obviously, if you've got a guy who gets stopped early, out of the blue, and it's the only defeat on his record, people say, okay, well, let's look at the rest of the record. And sure enough, let's see if he faced anyone decent. And sure enough, I mean, he did win a majority decision over Stephen McKenna in his last fight, which was a very, very good win. And I think he's improved a great deal. He's 29 now, Lee Cutler. And I'm not someone who bears a grudge against someone because they lost, earlier in their career by knockout. Even if it's a 1-rounder, I mean, he could have been caught cold. I can't remember that fight with Brad Ray, and I'm sure I've seen it, but because I've seen probably the majority of Brad Ray's fights. I've seen more of Brad Ray than I have of Cutler, actually. But I can't for the life of me remember the fight, probably because it was over so quickly. It was in a round. But if you do analyse his record, there's an awful lot of journeyman on there. But, like I say, I mean, he did have a 10-round decision win in 2023 over an undefeated fighter by the name of Stanley Stannard. And that was on that Bournemouth card. Chris Billum-Smith was on. I know it was a good win for Cutler because that kind of announced him back in the mix as a contender. And the McKenna, so that was an undefeated scalp, and then he beat McKenna, who was undefeated. So I think it's fair to say that he really has improved a great deal, Cutler. And at 29, he's probably in his prime. Another orthodox fighter. Both these guys are orthodox fighters. So the question is, who's going to win? And I'm thinking, bearing in mind those two very good victories in his last, what is it, 3 or 4 fights, I'm thinking that Cutler is probably in his prime now. And he's got to build on those 2 victories with a good win over a proven, a tried and tested warrior in Sam Edgington. The question is, can he soak up the punishment that Eggington is going to bring? Because to beat Sam Edgington, you've either got to be extremely good, like a Liam Smith, for example, or, because that was pretty much a peak Liam Smith that stopped Eggington in 5, I think it was, or you've got to, outgut him, which is very, very difficult to do, kind of like Ted Cheeseman did. And even then, it was a very, very close fight. Because if you don't do that, if you're not prepared to go into those dark places with Sam Edgington, you're probably going to be found wanting. Now, I don't think that Cutler will put up a bad performance. I don't think this will be like the Pigford fight, where, like I say, it was just man against boy. But I do think that Eggington is going to really take Cutler into places he hasn't been before. Cutler's only got 7 KOs in 15 wins. And those records can be a little bit deceptive. He might hit a bit harder than you might think. But when you face a lot of journeymen, they're guys who know their way around a ring. They can hang tough, go the distance and then collect the paycheck. And then next week they're in another town or city collecting another paycheck. It's difficult to knock people out who don't want to engage. But if you look at the 2 victories I mentioned, the Stannard one and the McKenna one, they were both distance fights. McKenna one was a majority decision, but I thought Cutler probably won that one, I think. I mean, McKenna was on the floor at least once I can remember that fight. Was he on the floor twice? I can't remember. But I know that I thought Cutler's won it. That's not to say that it wasn't a competitive close fight, but I did think that, if I remember rightly, I did think Cutler won the fight. But anyway, against Sam Edgington, he's really going to have to ride out a few storms. And I'm not entirely convinced he can do it. It would depend on what Sam's got left. I think Sam's comfortable at super welterweight. I think he struggled a bit with welterweight towards the end of his... because his first half of his career, I think, was at welterweight. I think, whereas Sam is a come forward, doesn't mind taking one to land 2. Cutler's a bit more, there's more of a box fighter, I suppose you'd say. Likes to mix things up a little bit. It's difficult. This is a very difficult fight to predict, because it all depends on how much Sam's got left and how much Cutler has got that we haven't previously seen. But I am going to go for... This is over 10, by the way, not 12. I should have mentioned that earlier. I thought those tin pot belts they give out were for 12 rounds, but no, they're for 10 rounds. It's a difficult one to predict. But you know what? I've bet against Sam Edgington once too often in the past. So I'm going to say that Sam Edgington grinds out a victory over Cutler. Might last the distance, might be close, might be a majority decision or something. But I'm going to think that Sam has got enough left. And in fact, I know he had a little run around at the end of 2024, a little against the journeyman, little 6-pointer. But it's been over a year now since the Baru fight. So I think that rest will have done him some good. So I think that maybe Sam will edge it on points. I'll go with Sam to win on points in what could be a real good fight. So I don't know, I could be completely wrong about this one, but let me know what you think. But don't miss this fight. Like I say, it's on Sunday. Have a look at it. It's on the undercard of Cameron versus Whitaker, and tell me what you think about it. But this is the fight on the card that I'm looking forward to. Cameron Whitaker, yeah, of course, but of the undercard fight, certainly this is the one that's hiding away, waiting to surprise us all. Anyway, if you've got any comments, leave them below. Thanks very much for watching the video. It's dragged on a little bit, this one. That's probably because I'm not too sure who's going to win, but leave your comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button as well, and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you very, very much indeed, and bye for now.